Alex Wade, 76 Dartmouth Drive, Mystic. Good evening, Mayor, Town Councilors, members of the Board of Education. It has come to my attention that our Fitch High School robotics team, the Aluminum Falcons, receives no money from the town or the Board of Education, aside from a coach's stipend, for which we are grateful. It is a shame that this diverse group of young, STEM-minded boys and girls otherwise goes unsupported. I respectfully speak to you to explain what this group does and hopefully convince you that it is worth putting money into. The robotics team is a group of about 40 boys and girls with a core of roughly 8 mentors and parents and 2 coaches that build a 120-pound robot from scratch that can perform complex tasks defined at a kickoff event in January every year. We generally compete in 2 district events, the New England Championships, for which we regularly qualify, and a postseason event or 2. The team is composed of various subgroups, much like an athletic team might have an offense, defense, special teams, etc. We have computer-aided design team members, mechanical team members, programmers, electrical team, even a marketing team. They each fulfill their tasks while working together to make a drivable, competitive machine every year. Our team has made it to the regional and New England championships for the last few years, and we have qualified for Worlds the last 2, and we hope to again this year. Last year, we were unable to represent Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut at the World Championships because we had no money. And then we went on to win one of the largest postseason events in the region, Battle Cry. This year, we began the season winning the first tournament we entered, and we finished 4th out of 40 teams in the second tournament. We are unable to enter any more tournaments, but our strong performances in the 2 competitions qualified us for the New England Championships, and we are in the top half of that group, and so we're poised to make it to Worlds again. More. Since our request to use the empty Fitch Middle School spaces was rejected, our team must practice in the hallways or musical stage at Fitch High School and work out of half of a storage room. We do not get to practice on an actual competition field until our first tournament. This is like asking a baseball team to practice on half of a basketball court while there's an unused field near the school, and then to not buy them equipment, and then having that baseball team make it to the state, regional, and world championships, and then choosing again the following year to not fund them, buy them equipment, or allow them the use of a field which is already there. The robotics program is much like any other athletic program, and in fact, some states have included robotics in their athletics budget, but it's an athletics for the mind. There are team goals. We're looking to win or at least compete to the best of our ability. Within the team are subgroups, as mentioned, contributing their own skills and expertise. The team members learn the value of putting in long days toward a common goal. At the end of each round of a tournament, you have an overall score and either a W or an L next to your name. And you learn to move on and apply the lessons learned to the next match. We don't have athletics for our students truly to fortify the body. If strong, healthy bodies were the main purpose, the only driving force, then every student would be forced to participate in the sport and would have more than a 2-semester requirement in physical education. We have these programs to give our kids opportunities to learn competition, teamwork, goal setting, being involved in the greater school community, learning how to deal with the circumstances of life, citizenship, empathy, respect for self and others, loyalty, responsibility, etc. And robotics does this in droves. In addition to what's been mentioned, according to a third-party 2012 report, roughly 90% of the Common Core math skills are covered as part of the first robotics competition season, 76% of 21st century skills, and 48% of science standards as well. Furthermore, 89% of first participants go on to study in 4-year colleges, compared to national averages of about 65% according to U.S. Census data. And FIRST breaks this down a little further, a little more finely. 78% of Hispanic FIRST alumni go on to college, 77% of FIRST female participants, 66% of African American participants, all well above their national cohorts. And more, whereas 6% of students nationally major in an engineering field, a full 41% of FIRST alumni do. And participation in FIRST predicts roughly double the chances that a student will major in any STEM field over those who don't participate, 55% compared to 28%. The robotics team's visions and goals are very much in line with the national push for STEM and/or STEAM, if you want to put the arts into it, education. It's an integration and alignment of K-12 programs and initiatives for projected U.S. national workforce needs. It is in our diverse town of Groton an incredible opportunity for more diversity in STEM and STEAM pipelines. With about 20% of our team being female, this is about young women in STEM. It's about competition and cooperation, about future careers for boys, girls, and members of all parts of our socioeconomic spectrum in STEM and STEAM, including those youth in our community who may be the first in their family to study beyond high school. It's about project management, marketing, communicating with partners and supporters. As our CAD members' work demonstrates, this is about graphic, visual, and aesthetic communications. It's about exposing our young boys and girls who regularly perform outreach events at the local middle and elementary schools and even the Crystal Mall to the possibilities in mathematics, engineering, science, technology, business, and communication, and more, doing it all to the tune of Fitch school spirit and Groton local pride. The U.S. Department of Education also highlights the need for more robust STEM education, and in particular, STEM opportunities for women and other underrepresented groups in STEM. Quoting from the National STEM Education Coalition, STEM education must be elevated as a national priority as reflected through education reforms, policies to drive innovation, and federal and state spending priorities. Strong STEM skills are a central element of a well-rounded education and essential to effective citizenship. Our nation must expand the capacity and diversity of the STEM workforce pipeline to prepare more students for the best jobs of the future. Fitch High School and the Groton Public Schools can be a front runner in this. Indeed, we can be a beacon of light in this effort, but only if we choose to prioritize it by funding it and giving it the proper space it deserves, the Fitch Middle School space. Again, the first robotics program, it's an athletics for the mind. It brings boys and girls together in a STEM setting and pits them against one another to push the bounds of what their talents can do.
Can you wrap up?
Yes, ma'am. It is rare to have the officers of the town, the city, and the Board of Education of Groton in the same room at the same time. What's certain right now is in this room right now are the people, all of the people, that can figure out how to make this work. That space at Fitch Middle has been vacant for 3 years. While that perfect space has been vacant, this world-class robotics team has had to work out of a storage space, half of a storage space. Please consider the Fitch robotics team, the aluminum Falcons, in the budget as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.